Hey everyone, how's it going? Basil the Healer here, ready to talk about Preservation of Evoker Season 2. I have theory crafting for all of you. The build I'm going to be running, an alternative, more beginner-friendly build. Depending on how things feel, I might be using it too. And then a third alternative build that looks more viable than ever before. We have a lot to talk about here, and a lot of exciting things to talk about. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to start by showing you all the tier set if you haven't looked at it already. And then I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of the builds. And a friend of mine has reminded me to tell all of you, hey, if you like the channel, please get subscribed. It would mean the world to me. The growth here has been amazing, and all of you have been supporting me so much. So I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so the 2-set bonus is that Spiritbloom applies a heal over time effect for 40% of its healing done, and that hot lasts for 8 seconds. And that 40% is calculated with like criticals and whatnot as well. So you can get a really high ball sort of number from it. And then additionally, Dream Breath's healing is increased by 15%. That's just bonus. That's still in the 2-piece. Hallelujah. Happy to hear it. And then 4-piece, after casting 3 empowered spells, which are both your breaths and your Spiritbloom, you gain an essence burst immediately and then another 3 seconds later. So what's fantastic about this is the 4-piece bonus. I originally thought that might have been an RP thing. Like, oh, you get another one 3 seconds later. Is that just dragon time magic stuff? No, it actually, in my testing, prevented me from overcapping quite often. I would see the free essence after casting a breath spell. I throw an echo on someone if I say I already had an essence burst, and then the next one would come in a moment later. It also works well with Disintegrate and Emerald Blossom timing. So overall, I think it's actually a bit of a quality of life thing. So for builds, if you've been following me on stream, you already know what I'm thinking. And it's just grace period instead of anything to do with breaths. You might be going, wait, no Call of Ysera? No renewing breath? What is this? Well, it's sort of when you're in like 23s and 24s, like players just die, and a better renewing breath isn't doing more work for me when a base dream breath is doing fine. Did I say renewing breath? That's the name of the talent. Basic dream breath is doing just fine for me. So I don't need to augment it with any other talents. It sort of doesn't do anything for me when it's enough healing to get the job done. People just die if we mess up a mechanic. So if my heals aren't on point anyway, the better dream breath wasn't probably going to save us. So I like this build a lot. Plenty of damage, plenty of healing. I get a lot out of Grace Period. For those of you who don't know, Grace Period does double up. So if you get a double reversion on someone, they're taking 20% extra healing. And I don't know how that calculates. All I know is that it is double the effect of 1 Grace Period. I'm not the mathematician here. So I love this build. It's been working great for me, and I'll see how it feels in Season 2. Now there's a catch. The beginner build I'm about to talk about is something I'm going to use if I need to catch up more on healing. See, if the health bars are being increased, but so is the damage, we're all a bit thicker. I'm at 400 something K right now in PTR. So, you know, that health buff is looking kind of nice. But if like I'm falling off and I can't like heal people up fast enough between mechanics this new season, you're going to see me go down to Call of Ysera or run Ouroboros into Renewing Breath. Simply put, right, like if I need more healing, I will grab more healing. But right now, the more healing I've been receiving through Grace Period has been enough for me. So I'll start over here. By the way, I just want to know, if you're over looking at my left tree, like what are you doing over here? I just pulled apart a build that I didn't really care about on the PTR. Please ignore everything going on over here. So we also need to talk about my favorite, Life Force Mender. This is no longer an optional high damage thing that's only used in meta builds. This is huge because 2% of our maximum health, and we just got a 20% health buff, and we're getting more health this season with gear score. This is only getting better, which means Life Giver's Flame is better, which means it's even better through Grace Period, and I love that synergy. So whether you're going to dip slightly more into things like Renewing Breath or Call of Ysera, or if you're going to run more of this build, we're eating good with the fact that our Flame Breath and our Living Flames are healing more. And we just got buffed in the Living Flame department, so the heal's already 15% better. Just wonderful. Everything about it's looking great. So what's this alternative build? Well, you probably guessed it. Nosdormu's Teachings. So if you've never seen this in action, Nosdormu's Teachings, instead of delivering Echo with Temporal Anomaly, you still deliver a wonderful shield. However, now it reduces the time off of your other breath spells. So let's say I set everyone on fire, cast a little Spiritbloom, and then hit the Dream Breath, right? Okay, totally. Pop Temporal Anomaly, all of them lost 5 seconds off their cooldown. And this does work through stasis, by the way. Our tier set currently doesn't work through stasis, which is a little unfortunate. You can't get an additional essence burst by putting all those breaths in stasis. Right now, it's sort of an off meta build because it's fun. It is good damage. It is a damage increase to have your higher level charge flame breaths uptime be higher. It's just always better. But the healing just isn't as much compared to the other talent. I call it Echo Delivery Service, but it's Resonating Sphere. The thing about that is next season we might have to do more healing, in which case this might feel a little underwhelming at first, but as the values go up, or potentially as we have off heals in a group, you might not need the Echo to make certain heals work, especially with the Spiritbloom heal over time. So there's a real chance that Nosdormer's teachings might work in comps and might even be meta at some point, depending on team composition. But all I know is that you're not going to go wrong with Resonating Sphere, and if we do need more healing, then Resonating Sphere is going to feel a bit more mandatory, and Nosdormer's teachings is going to feel a little bit more like an off-meta pick. But I like the idea that this could be meta. I like the idea that we could just be rolling out all these spells, all these huge hits way more often. But you might be thinking, isn't a lot of mana? Like, isn't that how you run out of mana on this class, throwing temporal anomalies all the time and constantly using your big heals? Yeah, it does. But with the 4-piece, we're going to be getting essence bursts more often for free for casting these spells and using Nosdormer's teachings. So that's going to allow us to refund our mana pretty quickly if things are going well. Refunding our mana pretty quickly after using that's going to allow you to keep up with the curve, not fall off or hit a point where you have to take a drink, because you're simply going to be helping refresh yourself the whole time pumping out these heals. Sadly, I can't really give you anything definitive until I try and until it's released. I am still going to run this build. It's what I'm running right now. The traditional standard build to Ysera or to Renewing Breath are both going to be good. So go into the season with almost the same talents. Just know that you're going to be using Spiritbloom very differently for a little bit. You're still going to use it for your massive heals, but it's the after effect. Do you all remember in my tutorial when I talk about how the challenge to this class is staying ahead, right? If you fall off or fall behind, it can be really hard to catch back up. You need to use Tip the Scales or an emergency cooldown to sort of get yourself back to where you need to be healing. Well, Spiritbloom is sort of like taking an extra step, right? You're now going to be able to do a big heal to everyone, and then whatever's coming next, the Spiritbloom heal over time might have your back, or that paired with a Dream Breath might be enough to negate you needing to do anything else, and you can focus on doing damage or CC or positioning or whatever it is you need to do. Having something that gives us a step ahead is a big deal. So I really think this is going to be a fun season for us. And I promise to all of you, I'm going to be testing this real soon. I don't need to test Resonating Sphere. I need to test Nosdormer's teaching. So I'm going to see how it feels with a couple of friends when we do some PTR dungeons. And I also have to go over Mistweaver because Mistweaver looking kind of nice. So for those of you who are fans of me and Mistweaver, trust me, we'll be talking about that in the next video or two. So we're eating good, Preservation. Listen, Preservation players, we're doing good. We're sitting real pretty for this next season. So I hope you're as excited as I am. If you have any questions or concerns, drop them in the comments section. Once again, get subscribed if you like this content, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. But that's it for me, and I will see you all in the next one. And rest in peace, this poor hunter player I found last night. They asked me to duel, and they were like, can you help me test something? And they helped me test their new pet, and it's so slow. It does not enough damage, and the pet's so slow. I felt so bad. Oh.